Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
Oh, I forgot to say, hey, by the way, Rocky Crevasse. Nice to meet you.
Rocky Crevasse?
Rocky
hello,
Crevasse.
Hello, Grip Handhold.
Grip
Good to meet
Handhold.
you.
Yeah, Rocky Crevasse. How are you?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
It is, hey, listeners, get ready. We are coming to you not live from a late hour.
Yeah.
This is the witching hour.
Yeah, this is, I think, as late as we've ever recorded.
Is it?
Is it?
I can't think of a time where we've recorded later than 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
breaking new wind.
Yeah, it sure is. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Film Majors late night studio session. I am Zach.
I am going to be putting that to the test, the whole Film Majors thing. Stand by for that. I am Mick.
I'm Alexis.
Mick, you put the Film Majors to the test every single time you come on this podcast.
You know, I mentioned that because today I watched a lot of television, and I'm going to talk about it.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you.
It's worth talking about.
God damn it.
It's worth
God
talking about.
damn you.
Yeah, it's worth talking about.
Well, what's going on?
Well, that's a very good question, and I'm really happy you
Wow.
asked it.
I jumped right into it.
He jumped right into it.
Into
He
it.
saw the Rocky Crevasse, he saw the opening, and he just jumped right in like a little rock climber that he is.
I love a good crevasse.
He's rappelling off the side of my cliff face, and the ropes are getting a little tangled, but it's okay. He's going to find his way to the bottom.
I really prefer Alexis
I'm really
yawning
loving
than whatever
the
this
heat from
is.
the rope burn.
I love it.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Don't be tired and hop on with his bit.
It's great.
That's not.
Yeah,
Pick one.
listeners,
Don't do both.
So,
I
listeners,
can have both.
I am hopped up right now on a mug of green tea that I had 2 hours ago, and when it gets late, I get a little loopy. So hang in there, folks.
I for sure don't think I've ever heard you say anything more white man than I'm hopped up
yes,
on
you have.
green tea.
Oh, yes, you have.
Not anything we can repeat on air.
That's true.
You freak. Well, you might be wondering why we're recording so late.
I wasn't.
Well, if you're a listener,
I
you might
know
be
why.
wondering why we're recording so late. If you're one of my co-hosts, you know why. And that's because
Indeed.
I'm working on a little independent film in air quotes, film in massive air quotes, shoot. This is something that I applied to on Facebook, and pretty late in the game discovered that the quote-unquote filmmakers of this were planning on using AI to do a massive amount of VFX for this movie. I probably would have walked off this set if I remotely believed that this movie was going to come out. Because, folks, if this is the threat that AI is posing to the film industry, we ain't got nothing to worry about. These are some of the most incompetent people I have ever worked with in my life. They do not have a finished script. They are trying to complete a feature film in 5 days. They started shooting on Monday. It is Tuesday. As per time of recording, we are supposed to wrap on Friday. Their camera team consists of 2 people. Their sound team consists of me. They do not have an assistant director.
Oh, yikes.
Their producer is this guy named Brian. By the way, I'm not under NDA. They didn't have me sign an NDA, so I can talk all the live long day about this,
It's like
and I'm going
that's
to.
like impossible. You're doing more than 15 pages a day. That's crazy.
No, we're not. No, this
Yeah,
is.
I was
That's
going to ask, where are you
crazy.
at? Where are you at with
Oh
the page
God,
count?
I don't even know. I've been driving the actresses who are fucking like wonderful actual professionals to set every day, and they've been giving me more of a picture of like what we should have done, because I took a look at the screenplay which I was given on Monday. And I initially was like, oh my God, did AI write this too? And I was reading through it and I was seeing things like add scene of blank here. And I was like, oh, no. This is just someone who is an incredibly incompetent writer.
Like they didn't remove their they accidentally added a scene or something.
No,
like-
there are parentheticals that denote scenes that need to be added into the screenplay.
So it's like a director's note where it's like, all right, when we get to this part in the shoot, come up with a scene.
The director, Scott Zacharin, who I can name.
Huge fan.
Because, again, I am not under NDA.
Okay, his name is Zach. What is it?
Scott Zacharin.
That's not a real name.
No, fake-ass name. Fake-ass name.
Scott Zacharin.
Yeah, that's the last name of the bad guy in The Adventures of Tintin.
Is it?
Zacharin.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, he was
Are they
writing
related?
is he related to the animated villain from The Adventures of Tintin?
I believe it.
Yes, Alexis. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, sure.
The one that Daniel Craig plays.
Yes.
Sorry, that was just really funny in my head.
I liked it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good time.
It's funnier than anything Scott has ever said or written. He's constantly trying to make jokes on set, and they're fucking landing with a thud.
Nice.
Oh, dang.
But, yeah, he was writing a scene that we were shooting today on set. I was informed of this. I didn't see it because I try not to pay attention to what he's doing.
Right.
I'm listed as a sound PA on the call sheet, which is not a job.
Even though you're the only sound.
I am the sound recordist
Yeah.
and I am the boom operator.
Wow.
And you can't really do a lot more than that when you're doing those jobs, although I am also doing like grip work. I yelled at Brian today because Brian was like, "Hey, could you just would you mind doing some of these dishes that are here in this place?" And I start doing that, and then I'm like, as I'm doing that, I'm like, "No, this isn't my job. What the fuck's happening?
Doing dishes?
Why
what,
am I
on
doing
set?
dishes? Yeah, it's at a fucking apartment, which I believe they're also staying at. I don't think these dishes were generated by the production. So I
Just
have like
do
my
these
hand.
dishes.
Yeah, I have my hand in a glass, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And as I'm thinking that, the glass breaks, cuts my finger. Yeah.
And it's
wrong one.
Oh, it's your middle finger too.
Oh God, I
That's-
wish.
That's metaphorical.
But yeah, it like cuts my finger, and I'm like, Brian, I need a first aid kit. Also, I'm not doing shit like this. I'm not a fucking maid. Like, I am your sound recordist. I don't care what I am on the fucking call sheet. It's not my job to do your dishes. You fucking idiot. I didn't call him a fucking idiot, but everything else I did say to him. But yeah, they also I agreed to a pretty shitty flat rate, but I was like, whatever, I need some money for rent at the end of the month.
Right.
I agreed to a flat rate of $125 a day, 10-hour days.
Holy shit.
Very low.
Oh my God.
However, then they were trying to get us to fill out a W-2, which would take tax out of that. And I was like,
No way.
no, if you do that,
Invoice
I'm
it.
going to walk.
my
And
God.
our grip was also like, yeah, because our grip found out about this. Our grip /AC /gaffer. And we were both like, that's not going to work. So now we're being paid minimum wage.
Jesus.
Which, will be more than the fucking sweetheart deal they were already cut.
Is it so that you'll get taxed? Is that why they're giving you minimum wage so they can pay you with W-2?
Yeah, they want to pay through W-2, but we will ultimately end up making more money.
fuckers.
Because 125 is still fucking nothing.
Is that even legal?
No,
That's
it's
insane.
not. Also,
that's
they
crazy.
didn't mention AI in the contracts for the actors. So
Well, they wouldn't, would they?
Yeah, this is not gonna go anywhere. This film will never be.
Are they SAG actors? Or are they non-union?
Yes, they're SAG actors.
Oh.
Yeah, they're fucked.
The soup's getting spicier.
They are. This shoot is so fucked. And again, I
Wow.
would have quit after day one if it weren't so goddamn entertaining.
Yeah, it's great.
To watch such fucking numbskulls try to bullshit their way through a movie because Brian, the producer, is 23, and I was talking to him on the first day, and he was like asking me how long I've been in the industry, and I was like, oh, so how long have you been working on sets? And he was like, oh, well, actually, I more know how to do the AI effects is how I got into this. And I'm like, oh, so you don't work on sets? And he was like, yeah, I guess. He's quite scared of me now. He's quite scared of me.
What the
Yeah, he's types words into computer man. Also, little thing about AI, it can't reliably recreate images.
Right.
They're never going to be able to make these sequences. And apparently they have like some AI test footage that they've shown the actors. I haven't seen it because I don't want to.
This is all this bunch of bullshit.
The actors are like, this looks like shit. It looks awful. Yeah, so it's very fun watching people this incompetent and kind of seeing the minds who want to bring AI into the film industry.
Yeah, they're numbskulls.
Because they're not going to succeed because they aren't capable of fucking putting together basic like production shit. Like they don't have a shooting schedule, or they have a shooting schedule, but
made by AI.
Made by Brian. It's worse.
That is even worse. That's the guy who relies on AI.
It's actually worse than it being made by AI. They don't have a shot list. They don't have a finished script. Again, these are morons. These are such stupid people that I can't help but be in awe and continue to watch and be paid to watch, because that's really what's happening. Because here's a patented Zach Harris on-air promise. If this movie, fucking what's it called? The Reincarnations of Lydia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If this movie ever sees the light of day, I will eat both my shoes. I will eat both of my fucking shoes.
The Brooks?
Nah, one I like less. My slides. My orange slides I'll eat.
Those are old and funky.
Yeah, they're funky, but I don't wear them that much.
Wow. That's saying something. Listeners, he means it.
That's how fucking confident I am that this movie will never come out, because these people are incompetent fucking rubes and buffoons. So,
wow.
Scott, Brian, you're dumb. You're the dumbest people I've ever worked with.
Honestly, I'm really happy this happened on Comedy Month, because that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny.
You washing dishes and
it's really, really funny.
Wow.
Yeah, it's also like, oh man, I don't even know where to go with this. The fact that
that's so funny. I don't even think any of our student sets were that bad.
No, none of them were.
Yeah.
No, not a single student. And Scott fucking has been working on sets for years. He's 60. Like, I don't understand how you... Yeah, Scott, the director, has been working on sets.
What's your biggest issue
you said
with...
his man is 60?
Yeah, 60.
The director is 60, the producer is 23.
What you said you had a real issue with Scott before we started recording.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm not getting into that. Fuck you. That's not something.
So now
that's
that we're on the
issue.
air, now that we're recording, you're backing away.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's the fact that like because our key grip when he was like, if you want to fucking do it, pay us through payroll, then you've got to raise the fucking wage.
Yeah.
Like initially
that shit ain't worth it.
Yeah, initially fucking like Scott tried to give him like some sob story about how expensive this is. It's like, tough fucking titty. If you can't afford to pay your crew, you don't get to make a movie.
Don't make it. Yeah.
You don't get to make a movie, you AI using fucking hack.
Oh my
God.
God.
I worked on getting an independent film financed this past year, and everybody got fucking paid.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as they were worth, but everybody got fucking paid, and got paid more than, like, if you got paid like a low amount, you got paid fucking under the table and you didn't get taxed, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
I've been on some shit shows in my day.
W2 when you have to pay employer taxes?
I don't know. I don't know why they have to. Maybe
because they're idiots.
They realized that they had to for some legal purpose. But it, again, does not matter because this movie will never be released.
Yeah. I've been on some shit shows, but nothing like that. That's its own fucking thing.
It's like I have to stay. I have
you
to
have
stay
to see
to
it, you
bear
have to see it through. You have to know what not to do.
Well,
but you want to see it firsthand because
I gotta
that way.
be honest. I know not to do.
Well, of course.
everything
Well, of course.
that
But,
fucking Scott is
of course,
doing.
but you want to witness it too, because that way, when this does happen again and people pitch this shit, you can be like, no. I was there. I've experienced the kind of shit that you're pitching right now, and I can tell you it's a fucking disaster. So
Yeah. Also, like, this dude fucking like asked me what I want to do, and I was like, oh, I want to write and direct, and I've got a horror movie that I'm working on, and I'm going to be talking to some like practical effects and CGI people to figure out how we can execute the ending of it. He was like, oh, you could use, and I was like, no, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because practical effects are better.
Yeah, he's the artist equivalent of a scab.
He is the artist equivalent of nothing because he's not an artist.
Yeah.
So you're both the stupidest motherfuckers I've ever met. God love you.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic. That is certainly some stuff going on. Wow.
Yeah, that's what's going on for me.
Really
What TV
came
have
in
been?
hot.
I'm
Came in hot with a steaming pile of dookie.
I am less than 2 hours off of this set. I'm fucking
It's
steaming.
fresh.
Yeah.
Speaking of television, as I mentioned previously, great story, Zach. I appreciated that. I hope
Thank
you enjoyed that,
you.
listeners. He is suffering for you. Enjoy it. I watched 4 episodes of 4 different really good television today. It was nice. I watched Masters of the Air. Continuing that. It was really good.
Hold on, man.
I'm continuing watching Shogun. Very good. Again, you got to watch that. And then I watched episode 1 of The Sympathizer,
Oh, okay.
directed by
Okay.
Park Chan-wook.
That's
And I have to say, this might be one of the strongest just first episode pilots that I've seen in living memory. It is.
That's crazy. I finally
It is
finished
strong.
episode 1 of The Gentleman. And the chicken scene.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Crazy.
I finished the entire season of The Gentleman, and it's very
you
good. I
did?
recommend it. Yeah, it's
I
fantastic.
also watched the first episode of this movie, of this series, Mary and George, with Julianne Moore and Nicholas Galatazine.
Gazeltine.
From Galatine.
Salty.
From Bottoms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And other things, but that me and Enrique and roommate.
In roommate.
Ex and roommate.
The one person that continues to be the worst at that,
It's the person who brought that to our
who's the one who
attention.
originally pitched it like it's really important that we call this person this. I'm not going to do it, but you
But you two do.
both need to do it.
Yeah, but
Do
if I
as I
hadn't
say,
have done
not as I
that,
do.
would we not have not had what?
Good. Nailed that.
That was an on-the-air fart.
Fucking nailed
That was a brain fart.
That was like an in-process reloading. How would we have in roommate without my fumbles? You know,
That's true.
That's true. And
I
roommate
guess.
wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for your fumbles.
Yep, that's true.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
And you can put that in writing.
And you can take that to the bank and you can cash it for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what currency you're going to get, but
Nope.
it's real money. It's definitely a form of crypto.
I've actually seen
then-
some movies too. Have you guys seen some movies?
Yeah, well, Alexis, I love being cut off. Thank you for asking.
Alexis was talking.
But, yeah, I was talking too. You know what else I saw for the first time? Episode 1 of Fallout.
Oh, how was that?
Really good.
I've heard really good stuff
It's
about that.
really good. I
All
watched it
right.
with the Jacob mate room mate.
Jacoby.
Jacoby.
Jacoby, who's been on the show.
Jacoby's okay with using their name. Watch it with Jacoby. It's a really good time. I really liked it. I don't know why I'm talking like Mark Wahlberg. Maybe it's because I'm tired.
Hey, how's it going?
But the original score is really good by Ramin Djawadi, I think is how you say his name. He's the guy who did the music for Game of Thrones. Really good. The production design's fantastic. It was a good day of television.
Yeah,
It was a good day.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad. But you know what, Alexis? You've seen some movies. Rattle it off. What have you seen?
Started strong with Monkey Man.
Monkey Man.
Yes.
We talked about
We
Monkey
already
Man.
talked about it.
Did we?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it been
Next.
that long?
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so then what I saw after that was, Gone with the Wind, and then Civil War, which is very funny because it's, the actual Civil War happened in Gone with the Wind, and then I went and saw a movie called Civil War about So, guys, let me tell you. Do you know how fucking long Gone with the Wind is? That shit is
4 hours and 2
hours
minutes.
long.
I've seen it and I own it on Blu-ray.
Well, good for you, first of
Thank
all.
you.
Because that shit
Where's my prize?
is, I wouldn't say great, because the movie's like quite problematic, but I can definitely see why it, garnered like the classic title, because it is an epic, obviously.
Yes.
I do love the idea of an intermission. We discussed this last time. Mick, what the fuck are you doing over there? What are you saying?
I'm not doing anything. He is pretending. It's fine. Keep
I'm
going.
not doing anything.
He's not doing anything. Keep going. Am I even on camera right now?
Did they have an intermission?
I can't tell if I'm on camera. Oh, there I am.
They did have an intermission. It was like 10 minutes. I went to the bathroom and everything, and I was like, perfect. I don't know if I would have. I didn't have to pee, but I was like, can I afford to wait another 2 hours is the question. And, never take that chance.
Exactly as I said. They wouldn't cut the intermission, and I'm glad they didn't. You got the full experience. Good for you.
I really did. And you know what? To be honest, I mean, there wasn't that many people in the theater. There was like maybe 15 of us in this giant theater. But I don't know. There's some humor in there for sure. I condensed this movie. I was trying to explain to my sister the movie. So then instead I took her like piece by piece, the entire plot, like from beginning to end, and managed to condense the 4-hour movie into a 1 hour, one woman play by myself.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That's impressive. Like a
and
black
at the end
box.
of it, she said, "That's crazy. That actually sounds like a lot of fun. I want to watch that movie." And I was like,
Nice.
I think maybe my play is better than the movie.
Well, Alexis, what did you think of Scarlett O'Hara?
You know what? I really enjoy her as a character because she's so fucking awful. She's so selfish that I think that she's really interesting. I think it obviously wouldn't be as fun if she were a good person.
She needs to be like that. She's a fucking queen. She slays.
Oh my God, her eyebrows. I love Vivian Leigh. Her eyebrows are incredible. I enjoy how selfish she is because I'm like, go off, queen. Yeah, I also wouldn't want to be stuck during wartime. That sounds like it sucks. Oh yeah, I also wouldn't want to be in mourning for like a year after like somebody that I don't really care about dies. That would suck too. I don't know. She's super awful, but like her and Rhett Butler's like kind of back and forth, like flirtatious.
Clark Gable.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I totally get it. I'm like, Clark Gable. Oh, okay. You scoundrel. You scoundrel. You
Relax,
wowie
ladies.
dog.
Wow. Relax, ladies. He's never gonna fuck you.
Oh my God.
Isn't he dead?
Well, yeah, and also he was gay, right?
No.
Was
Yes,
he?
absolutely.
He was?
Yeah, that was a whole like notorious thing about Clark Gable.
I thought it was just he had bad breath.
No, what?
Yeah, he had really bad breath.
Never
apparently.
heard that.
Yeah, he had
The only thing I've heard about Clark Gable is that he was
with
gay.
his gums that like just
Really?
he had
like halitosis?
Yeah, he had like
I was
perpetual bad
reading,
breath.
I did briefly read about him, and he was married to Carol Lombard for a few years before
Oof,
she
that is gay.
died tragically during World War II. What?
Jeez, get the fuck out of here, Mick. Get the
What did
fuck
you
out
say?
of here. He just said, that is gay, when you said he was married to Carol Lombard.
That's fucked up. She died in her like 20s.
Yeah,
brother.
he said that immediately before you followed it up with she died during World War II.
Wow. Yeah, no, they like people said that like that kind of changed him forever, that he was never the same, like, after she died.
Yeah, he was
a homosexual.
He was free to
He
be
came.
who
he came out. He was okay. He felt good about it. It was brave.
It was the 30s.
Well, clearly it was the 40s because it was World War II. So
Yeah.
The World War II. Who knows when it happened?
Allegedly, dozens of people died.
Hey,
No, we're not going down the Mel Gibson route.
Is Masters of the Air set during World War II?
World War II.
Okay.
Yeah, 1931.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Leslie Howard, who plays Ashley Wilkes, the handsome debutante in the beginning of Gone with the Wind, he's like the blonde guy that sounds British and doesn't have a very good Southern accent because he is British and they just cast a British actor.
You know what? I have a not so hot take, but fuck Ashley Wilkes. I fucking hate that guy. He can burn in a fire.
It's funny you should say that because after he filmed Gone with the Wind, he became a pilot for the RAF and he died.
Nice. Got her back.
I'm not kidding.
Got her back.
I'm not kidding. That's true.
I know you're not.
Yeah,
Okay,
he actually was shot down over Europe. And it's funny that you
I'm
said he should die in a fire because, well, Alexis,
He did die.
we have good news for you and bad news for his loved
I really meant
ones.
that about Ashley Wilkes, the character, not
the
about
actor, who actually
to
died
be specific.
in a fire.
Nick,
In a fire in the
did-
fighting for his
You cracked
country.
a joke about Carol Lombard, and people will come for you.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either. And
They'll
also,
be old and
I'm just going to go on a ledge here and say that your joke was
horde of
worse.
grandmothers like coming down the street with their house
I can take them.
slippers.
They're decrepit. You push them down, they can't get back
We all
up.
saw Alex Garland's Civil War.
Yes, we did.
We all saw
did,
it.
yeah.
Mick and I saw it together.
It was great. Well, I don't know.
It was fine. It
was fine.
Is my main takeaway, Alexis? What did you think?
Yeah, it was fine. Me and my sister were kind of like trying to talk about it afterwards because we were like, like what was that trying to say? And then like the next morning over breakfast we were like, and then I said like something. I was like, yeah, well, you know, this and this about her character and this, and then I was like, yeah, you know, I probably would have more to say if they actually said more, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
agree. I think-
but the Jesse Plemons scene was fantastic.
Which, okay. Can I just say, funny thing about that? I listened to an interview today with Alex Garland, and that role was supposed to go to a different actor who fell out of the production due to a scheduling conflict a week before they started shooting.
Wow.
And so Kirsten, he felt really shitty. He's like, fuck, this stupid. I'm going to go into rehearsals and I should probably tell my entourage of actors because they deserve to know that this might fuck our production a little bit. And Kristen Dunst was immediately like, I bet Jesse would do it. Called him up.
Hell
and
yeah.
he was like, well, can I read the script? And he read it and goes, yeah, I'll do it.
You know,
that was literally how it
love
happened.
them as a working couple. I love them as a working couple. I
They're
love
a
them
power
in Power
couple.
of the
They are a
Dog.
power couple.
Yeah.
Power of the dog, power of the couple.
Power of the couple.
Yeah, Civil War
Power
does...
of the monkey. Kama Sutra.
Well, all right.
What?
Keep going.
I think that Civil War mostly exists for me as you're a fucking bad guy. As
A fantasy.
yeah, sure, whatever.
Well-
as an exemplification of how Jesse Plemons can just like add a significant amount of enjoyment for me for
He
your
just
movie.
like body yaddy everything he does. You know?
He's so good. Go back and listen
Well
to our
said.
game night episode because that was the first movie I ever saw Jesse Plemons in, and I still think it might be my favorite role of his. But yeah, I feel like that is the scene where Civil War feels like it has the most energy. It's got some good set pieces, but I feel like it either needed to have more like fleshed out politics
Yeah.
and like both of the world that it's depicting and what it's trying to comment on other than partisanship bad, which is such a fucking milquetoast take.
Is
Or
that what?
it needed like partisanship is bad, and it's like we need to all listen to each other,
Right. Yeah.
which I don't
I
necessarily
thought it was just
agree
more
with.
about the photojournalism, like
Well, that
like-
that's
have like the question of like object like remaining objective, you know?
Yeah, I
throughout.
mean that. Honestly, the part of the reason my partner Sam, she liked it more than we did. She still kind of agrees with us, but she was saying, well, she used to want to be a photojournalist growing up, and so she really appreciated that. She said the whole thing about being a photojournalist, particularly for combat zones, is being impartial and not taking a side and just simply documenting the objective truth, not having an angle to it, because as soon as you take an angle to it, you are adding to the narrative, which you shouldn't be doing. You should just be capturing what's actually happening. It's a very basic thing. And so that's why it is so apolitical, which is great and all, but I just find, and I know it's completely purposeful, and I know that Alex Garland and his cast of actors is saying, people who are saying it's not political enough are missing the point, which, okay, but I would argue that the movie that we're all kind of hoping we got, which is something that's, I mean, shit, the Purge movies are more political than this was, is more interesting. It's more interesting than what we got.
I think I needed a little bit more from like maybe, I don't know, either backstory or like
Context.
some sort of revelation about character with Kirsten Dunst's character. Like I think I needed more of that to like feel the impact of her, you know, spoiler alert, sacrifice at the end.
Which was a bad scene.
I agree. I think that if they weren't going to delve deeper into the politics of this world, they needed to delve deeper into like their characters' interiority. And like the characters in this movie all felt pretty like stock and one note to me.
Yeah, I didn't like them.
Good actors.
Yeah.
But like pretty bland to me. The only person who got to have any fucking fun in this movie was Jesse Plemons.
Yeah. I you know, it's funny, a scene I didn't really care for was the whole Winter Wonderland sniper scene. It had a funny line in it, but it felt, I don't know, I didn't like it. And then that interview I talked about where Alex Garland was talking about the production, he said that, everything, obviously, you know, it's super intentional, like everything we did.
That's the other thing. He's fucking British, which rubs me the wrong way.
Well, he also said, except for the Winter Wonderland thing, that actually, we went on a location scout, and we were in like Georgia, and we just came across this like abandoned Winter Wonderland thing that the landowner was like very upset that someone had abandoned, because then he had to pay to have someone like throw it all out. And we went, no, we'll shoot here. So that whole Winter Wonderland thing was simply because they were on a scout and they found that on the road and thought, let's shoot here. Like, it's weird.
An interesting set, I guess.
I think it speaks to why I didn't like it, because it felt so tacked on. Like, literally, that was not in the script. It was just like, wow, visuals. Let's make a scene for it.
It's, well, you know, it's a kind of like a nice little lull right before it kind of beefs up to get to the Plemons scene, because like what ends up happening before the Plemons scene is like was honestly very stressful. Like the whole like switching in between the cars before they get to the Plemons scene, that comes right after the Winter Wonderland thing, right?
That's right after the Winter Wonderland scene.
Yeah.
Which
I didn't like the car.
You know,
that scene is in Footloose.
You don't like.
Huh?
I said at that point, we're just splitting hairs about what we don't like about the movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm pretty mixed on Alex Garland now.
You really didn't like Men.
As a director, I think Men is like a full-blown, like pretty bad movie.
I will say, though, the last act where the Western forces do their final siege on Washington, D.C. and the White House, I thought was really well done.
Yeah, because West Coast, best coast.
I really appreciated it. I mean, I was really gung-ho about it. And I have been reading articles that Civil War is, I think, like the first movie since Top Gun Maverick that is pretty much split down the middle on politics. Like half the people that are coming to see it are Republican and the half the people going to see it are Democrat. And the articles are titled A24 Civil War is uniting fans of either side. You know what they're uniting them on is that, we're both bloodthirsty right now and we both want to have a war. That's what that says to me, because it is playing well to both sides. And I think it's because it is bipartisan. And I'm not saying it's being irresponsible. I'm not saying anything like that by being like apolitical, but the fact that that end scene, exists. And I know I was watching that getting really hot blooded going, okay. Like I'm picturing Trump in that beast, that limo, and let's fucking take him out. And I know the Republicans are picturing Biden in there. Fuck it, let's take him out. So both sides are very excited. And we are united in our eagerness to have at it. That's how I perceive that.
Well, on the other side of that, I've seen another movie other than Civil War as well.
What did you see?
I saw Wicked Little Letters with Olivia Colman and
Colman.
Jessie Buckley. It's Jessie Buckley, right?
Yeah, I really wanted to see that.
Yeah.
It's British. You'd hate it, Zach.
I love some of the reviews on Letterboxd. Like one of them's adding foxy ass to my expletive repertoire immediately. Another one is
who posted
R.I.P.
that?
Edith Swan. You would have loved Twitter.
Who posted those?
Let's see here.
Let's give some credit.
Kate. Let's see here. Kate with an exclamation point on the first one.
Kate.
And then just Alice on the second one.
Alice.
Anyways.
Alice.
The first half I would say it was okay, and then as we got into especially the last third of the movie where you're kind of beefing up we've decided it's kind of it's a whodunit, somebody's making these incredibly offensive letters to this woman Edith Swan, who is a woman in her 50s. She's a spinster, she's still living with her parents, and she's getting these letters that are "Dear Edith, you foxy ass slut, I hope you die in cum," or something, just random, weird shit, and it ends up getting blamed on her neighbor, who's an Irish woman who's kind of rowdy and, she'll say shit to your face. Fucker and things like that, and drinks with the men. Her name is Rose, played by Jessie Buckley. And so the shit gets pinned on her. So then, there ends up having to be this, police woman who's, the only police woman on the force that kind of has to do some, background, detective work to figure out who the fuck is, sending these letters. And Olivia Colman is just... God, I love that woman. She's so good at doing a little unhinged, repressed woman, I feel bad for that girl. I'm damn, if I was stuck with my parents who were 70 something, both of them, and in such a repressive era, I would also go crazy and start sending myself some crazy fucking letters.
That is 1000% something you would do.
Yeah,
that's actually very specifically an
just
Alexis
that
thing.
is Alexis
for the plot,
behavior.
For the drama.
That is goated in Alexis.
Yeah. But, Olivia Colman's, performance at the end just, really made it all worth it. Me and my sister laughed, quite a few times in the third act. Just because they're funny.
Well, I thought about watching it, and I might have to do that now.
Yeah, Sloan
it's
was looking
fine.
forward to that.
Sloan.
So, thank you.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably go
Yeah,
see
I give
that
it
one.
I give it a 3.5, but on a positive side of that.
Did you rate it on Letterboxd?
No, and I was just thinking about that because I was looking at my letterbox.
Well,
I was clearly
Alexis,
I haven't rated anything. I haven't haven't logged anything since the
Alexis,
last time we were on the podcast.
We're
Remember
recording
I logged Monkey Man
right now.
while we were on the podcast.
Get to it, Alexis.
Yeah,
we're recording.
Hop on it, Alexis.
That hasn't stopped you in the past.
Well, if Mick gets on another fucking soapbox
Which
about
I'm
the
sure he
political
will.
nature of
Soapbox?
Civil War, I'll be sure to get in another review.
What soapbox? I was just simply sharing what's happening.
Were you sharing what's going on, though?
Allegedly.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap this segment up, but the last thing I'll say is I saw the 2024 Roadhouse, and it wasn't good.
Oh, no.
No,
Okay, I have some stuff to add.
good.
I've seen some things. I'll make it quick.
Rattle them off.
I finally saw Monkey Man. It was really good.
Hell yeah.
Really, really good.
time.
Hell yeah. We're so back.
Definitely inspired by the best of like Korean grisly fucking violent action movies. Very Park Chan-wook going on there. Really liked it. Hong Kong, kung fu shit. Really, really good. I thought the use of the puppy was very clever. Didn't see that coming.
I agree.
I thought it was just the whole pat the dog moment. Which is synonymous with Save the Cat, which is just having your hero doing something nice so that the audience can be like, oh, yeah, he kills people, but he's feeding that dog and I like him. It was all a part of a ruse. And I love that.
Elaborate ruse.
Wait, is this a ruse? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's funny. I actually went down the rabbit hole of like, because, I know nothing about the state of Hindu politics or Hindu nationalism. I'm just recently kind of learning about it. So I can't really speak to, does this movie nail it or not? In fact, I've seen some critiques from people that are saying it didn't do a good job. Others saying it did do a great job. I don't know. But I found out that RRR is like totally like Hindu nationalist propaganda.
You didn't know about this?
Didn't know that.
I knew about this.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still
that
pretty
makes a lot
fun
of
movie.
sense.
I love it. It's fantastic. I love it. Let's roll it, man. Let's do it.
God.
Yeah.
I have a side note about Civil War when you're finished.
Okay. And then the other thing I saw was Unforgiven, directed by Clint Eastwood, which was really good.
What's going on?
I really liked it. Also starring Richard Harris, who I fucking love. You put him in a movie, I'm going to watch it. Also, there's another actor in it. If you put him in there, I'm going to watch it. Gene Hackman.
He's so good in that movie.
He's fantastic.
Gene Hackman's great.
It's like an anti-Western Western.
Yeah.
It's crazy good. The guy who wrote Blade Runner. Super good.
Shit.
Yeah, it's all about like the violence and like the real like tragic, catastrophic effect that has on people. It kind of throws away the whole cliches. I really enjoyed it. It was a great afternoon movie.
Hell yeah.
Really, really great. So Alexis, one last note about Civil War.
Yes, so we can all thank Civil War for Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, because Kristen Dunst on the set of Civil War was the person who put in the call to Sofia Coppola to like, because originally I think Kaylee Spaney was like supposed to audition for it, but like she just straight up like got it because Kirsten was like, no, she can totally do it.
That makes sense. Hell yeah.
Yeah, like it was so cute. I saw in an interview like Kirsten and them were like sitting together and like Kaylee Spaney. Kaylee was like, oh yeah, like I guess she like came out of her trailer and was like, I got it, and Kristen was like so excited for her and she was like, I'm so excited for you to do the movie and to be sad in a bathtub. And I was like, oh. What a beautiful moment for them.
Nice.
Wow, it seemed like Kirsten Dunst is like Kirsten Dunst is a bit of a Hollywood fixer.
Indeed.
That's cool. Just fucking casting movies left and right. Doing a good job.
For real.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn right.
All right, we're so deep in it, we've got to hop out of what's going on.
I hate to see it go, but I love to watch it leave.
Okay, well, we are into
Well.
our third big topic of Comedy Month.
Woohoo!
And today,
I enjoyed the music.
The music was good this time.
I
liked
preferred
the
it
music.
this time.
I preferred it to last time when it was the same.
I like what you did there in the middle with the horns.
Yeah, with how it was alike to the previous 2 times.
Yeah, it was great.
Do you
I like
actually have
consistency.
music in there?
There is music, Alexis, and all you need to do is click on the episode and hear it.
Alexis, I like that you're quizzing us for you have listened to the show.
It is an elaborate ruse.
This is an elaborate ruse, isn't it? Are you trying to get into the hotel?
God.
Trying to sneak into our little hotel through the back door?
Gross.
Who said anything about a back door?
So, today we are talking about our favorite idiot villains.
You're looking at him.
Yeah.
Ha!
I've been looking at 2 of them on set.
Dunked on myself.
Nice. Good.
If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Stop saying that. I don't like
That's the first time I said it on this episode. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
What's going on?
Who are some villains who...
Or moronic.
Moronic
Moronic
villains.
Well, we kind of talked
Harry
about this.
and Marv from Home Alone.
Yeah,
Go
that's
back,
great.
go back.
Really good one. Really.
Hell yeah.
I mean, honestly, really great picks. But we kind of talked about this a little bit with our first episode of the. Our last episode of Musical March.
Yeah,
that's right. With this, with really dumb villains.
The Duke.
The Duke. Yes, the Duke or the Duck. As they say in Unforgiven, directed by Clint Eastwood, 1992 Oscar winner.
All right, good.
Keep going.
You know who's another not so bright villain who I have a soft spot for?
Who?
Leatherface.
Ah,
Leatherface has some challenges. He don't know how to talk too good.
he don't know.
But God damn it, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He's
love
just
him.
looking for love. And sometimes that search comes in the form of putting a man's severed face on somebody else's face.
He likes it.
He just wants to connect with people, and he's scared when people break into his house.
Yeah.
But he is dumber than a bag of hammers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Leatherface is my favorite dumb villain.
That's good. You know, I'm kind of tempted to do Austin Powers,
What, Dr. Evil?
Dr. Evil, but that's
love
kind of
Dr.
easy.
Evil.
I mean, this is kind of on the note. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It's a comedy. I mean, of course, it's moronic.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of great
You could pick from a lot of comedies.
Slim Pickens from Blazing Saddles.
That's great. Or Hedley Lamar.
Hedley Lamar.
That's Hetty.
Hetty.
That's Hetty Lamar.
He's a diabolical genius whose diabolical performance will almost certainly win him a Best Supporting Actor nomination.
Your name.
Yeah, he's a guy with a modicum of intelligence hanging out with a bunch of morons.
Mick, you haven't even said the person that we should all be thanking, which is White Goodman from Dodgeball. Because it all comes back to Dodgeball.
That's great.
Good. Way to bring it back. That
That's
is
good.
a good. As
White
someone
Goodman.
who is not the biggest Dodgeball fan, that is probably my favorite performance
This
in
man
that
straight
movie.
up says, "You made me bleed my own blood."
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. We should mate. What? I said we should date. We should go on a date sometime.
Jesus. Oh man,
How come we haven't done that for Comedy Month?
I don't know.
Dodgeball?
One of you two would have to pick.
Yeah,
And
I will be honest.
Why haven't we suggested that?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm a little surprised it hasn't been Dodgeball or Nacho Libre from you, Alexis, because I know you like both of those.
those are two
I love
I've heard
those
you
movies.
invoke
Yeah.
many times.
I just like seeing Jack Blatt.
Jack Blatt.
Blatt. I like seeing him tighten his butt cheeks in the white
I
pants.
know. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good scene.
sometimes I want to try something new, but then I'm like, wow, why did I try something new?
Why didn't I play the hits?
Why didn't I try the
exactly.
fish curry?
Could
I
have
should've
played
just
to the
gone with
audience.
spaghetti.
I know at least 60% of the audience has to love Nacho Libre, just like statistically.
Yeah, I still need to watch that movie, Alexis.
You've never seen it?
Are you
No,
fucking with me right now?
guys.
What?
I've told you this
Are
so
you
many times.
I ate some
I've
grubs.
told you so
I
many
ate some
times.
grass.
This
I
is
used my
incredibly
hand
disappointing
to wipe my
because
tears.
I'm not entirely sure if the time to watch it may have passed you by.
I don't
there's
know. I I
I
watched
feel
it
like
pretty
Jack
old.
Black comedies are pretty irreverent, but
I watched it when I was 26, 27 for the first time. Loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still got
But
a
then
few
again,
years.
I have taste, so who's to say with you?
Well, if you've got taste, then buddy,
Then you're
I want to taste you. I mean, I want your I want to taste you. I want your I want to taste you. I want
What?
your I want you
Come
know
with
who's
me
a
to the
pretty
laboratory, young
dumb
man. I will give you
villain?
strudel.
You know
you
who's
can
a pretty
call me Dr. Freud.
You know who's a pretty dumb villain is Fred O'Banion in Dazed and Confused, as played by Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a numbskull villain
Yeah.
who I enjoy. He's a fucking super senior in that movie.
He is.
Not the
True.
brightest boy.
Okay, this might be a hot take. Because I don't know, I think he's kind of a moron, but Stu from Scream, he's like, I don't think
so
he's the
dumb.
mastermind here.
I love
No.
that man.
I think he's pitched some ideas. Hey, you can be moronic but still be hot, right? You can still want to fuck him.
Oh my god.
One of
but
the
like-
best lines in a movie ever.
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's a lovable idiot.
Yeah,
that's murdering people.
Yeah, fucking did you really call the police?
Like, hello?
Yeah.
Threw the phone at me, you dick!
Yeah. Stu's
know.
not bright.
He's not bright.
Yeah.
But we love him.
We do love
Stu,
him.
keep doing your thing. Don't get caught.
Well, do we want to talk about the idiot villain from today's film?
Kinda. I'll be honest with you. I'm not super excited to, well, fuck it. Let's go into it.
We gotta get into it.
Let's get into
we're
it.
50 minutes into the episode.
Are we?
Love
We
it.
are.
Looking for it. Let's go.
We should discuss To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. A 1995 dramedy directed by Beeban Kidron.
That's also a real name.
Yeah. Yeah, Beeban Kidron.
Beeban Kidron.
It's got a nice symmetry to it.
Alexis, do you have the movie pulled up on your phone?
Do I have the movie pulled up on my phone?
Yes.
On Letterboxd, but not on Google.
I've got the Google pulled up.
All right,
I'll read the Google out if you'd like me to.
Sure.
All right. Elite Manhattan drag queens Vita Bohem, Patrick Swayze, and Noxima Jackson, Wesley Snipes, impress regional judges in competition, securing berths in the Nationals in Los Angeles. When the two meet pathetic drag novice Chichi Rodriguez, John Leguizamo, one of the losers that evening,
Jesus.
the charmed Vita and Noxima agree to take the hopeless youngster under their
Say
joined wing.
charmed.
Yeah, they don't seem particularly charmed. Soon, the three set off on a madcap road trip across America and struggle to make it to Los Angeles in time. I don't think Google watched it.
I think Google watched like the first 15 minutes, was like, yeah, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was kind of anticipating more of a road trip movie, but
Yeah, me
Alexis, To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Why'd you pick it?
I picked it because I was feeling like maybe we should do something a little gay. Because,
No doubt, no doubt.
I,
Yeah, sure.
I
Cool,
never
cool.
turned down having a little gay time. And then also, it was just like, it was a movie my sister liked a lot when I was younger. And I've heard that I heard that it was pretty funny. I'd seen like a couple clips of it before. So I thought, you know what, I should watch it all the way through. And you know what, I had a good enough time.
Yeah, I had an okay time with this. I had not seen this prior to watching it for the episode. I was fairly excited because I've been in a bit of a Swayze mood. I've watched Roadhouse twice in the past, 2-3 weeks.
I almost put on Point Break after watching this.
Oh man,
The remake.
That's
I'm just kidding. I would never
that's
do that. I would never do that.
That's like
I'm just
much
kidding.
sicker behavior than putting on the
I'm
Roadhouse
just kidding.
remake.
I wouldn't do that.
You're bad. You're bad. But yeah, I don't know. This movie, I guess a few things about it. I kind of felt like it was a bit of a pale imitation of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
I've never
which
seen
is-
that.
I watched it a while back, but liked it more. It kind of gives you the like drag queen road trip movie that you want.
Do you know the Drew Carey show?
I'm like vaguely familiar with it. Why?
Yeah, they had some episode where like it was kind of like Rocky Horror people versus Priscilla of the Desert people, and I thought that was really fun.
Oh, that is fun. Okay. I think that Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, like understands what drag queens are.
That was
More
my
than this
problem with the
movie
beginning
does?
of this movie. I was like, I'm embarrassed by the dancing that is happening on this stage right now.
Well, yeah, but like also this movie does like lay out kind of a good description of what a drag queen is,
There are 4 steps.
which is what?
There are 4 steps to becoming a drag queen.
I'm not talking about the 4 steps bit. I'm talking about the bit where they're driving around in the car and they talk about how when you're a gay man who has too much style for one gender, you're a drag queen.
right.
Yet most of the way they interact with the world is like them trying to be perceived as women in their day-to-day.
Yeah.
Which like feels more in line with like someone who sees that as like their gender identity, which would be a trans woman.
Adam
which
Thapple.
is a different thing.
Adam Thapple.
Yeah, it's just
What? Adam Thapple. she just kept saying it.
Christ.
I'm like, why does she keep saying it? Stop it.
I don't know.
Daddy Thapple.
It does feel very like 1990s
yeah.
Hollywood trying to
Yeah, when
pat itself on the back.
It's so,
for doing
yeah, it's
gay
trying to be very
representation.
inclusive, you know, but like kind of missing the mark a little bit. And
oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
because the director I do not believe is a gay person. I believe that
it's a
Beeban
No, but I do
Kidron
believe
is
that
she's some
Wesley
lady.
Snipes is so incredible.
yeah. Well, okay, so
Yeah.
if I may, I have never seen this movie before, but what it means to me is it means a long journey to this moment that's finally been fulfilled. Because when I was a little kid, and I used to go to Waldport Video, the VHS store, not a DVD store, it wasn't a thing yet. There was a poster for To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, up on the wall. Really big, one of the big posters. He also had a lot of John Waters stuff, which, by the way, I think this movie would have been way better if it was a John Waters film.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I guess that's true of anything, really. Transformers, directed by John Waters. So I was always really intrigued by the poster as a kid. I was like, that looks really... Honestly, to be honest with you, as a little kid, I remember thinking, that looks kind of hot. Just because it was the back of these like really flamboyant women. And I don't know. I thought it was cool. And now I realize
just
as I'm
child
older...
Mick describing anything as hot is so troubling to
As
me.
I'm older, I'm like, oh, that was Wesley Snipes that I was really attracted to from behind. And, well, now I've finally seen it. I'm not going to
Is he
lie.
attracted from the front now?
I'm super hot for Wesley Snipes. No, I mean, I am, obviously. It goes without saying. I'm a huge Blade fan. Ugh. Anyways.
Where's this going?
I'm a little disappointed. This movie was not the movie I was hoping it would to be. It was fine. It was I think I can appreciate and understand why you picked this for this month, because it is technically a comedy, but this is way more of a queer month movie, I think, than it is a comedy. Simply by being like, for me, I think I'm late to the boat. As I wrote in my review, had I been introduced to this as a kid, I probably would have enjoyed it just as much as I do The Birdcage. But I think I'm a little late to the
It's-
boat.
It's not as
and
funny as the birdcage.
It's not as funny as the Birdcage. It's not as good as the
Birdcage
Birdcage.
is a classic.
Yeah,
The Birdcage,
that's a Mike Nichols film.
Birdcage holds up as funny.
Yeah,
The Birdcage is also like based on like a very like
Yeah, it's a
well-known
play.
like French thing too. So
Yeah, and because I was watching it through the lens, the theoretical lens of like comedy, I laughed out loud maybe twice. The rest of it was just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of meandering. I don't know. I wasn't super into this.
I
feel
would like
it
to.
lost steam halfway through for me.
Yeah,
That's funny. It kind of picked up for me in the last like 15 minutes just by virtue of being like, oh, everyone's gay now. That's cool.
LOL.
So it won back like half a star for me. It was solidly 2.5 stars throughout the whole thing. And then when like the whole village or town came out in like purple and feathers, I was like, I can't hate it.
I don't know
But that's
when
fun.
fucking RuPaul came down from the ceiling in that
Yeah,
like,
racial
flag
tensions.
covered.
yeah. That
That shit
was
was funny.
probably
Yeah.
that was probably my biggest laugh of the movie.
Because I don't even think I realized that RuPaul was in the movie, but then I think I saw their name like in the opening credits, and I was like, oh, RuPaul. And then when it came down, I was like, oh, RuPaul.
You know, the one other moment for me that elicited some laughs, because I did not chuckle that much at this movie. It mostly kind of washed over me. I'm glad to have seen it because I've long been
Could check it
curious
off the
about
list.
it. But the bit where Chris Penn as Sheriff Dullard is
Dollard.
it says Dullard on your badge.
The misprint.
Yeah, he's a great that
Is
guy.
it when
gone
he's in the
too
bar?
soon. Yes,
Yes,
Dude,
he's,
when he's
he's
in the
struggling
bar.
with his sexuality.
Yeah, like describing how like deviant drag queens are, and he's getting like gay men are, and he's getting like visibly horny.
Yeah. Just their hairy chins just rubbing against each other and their curly hair and their
No, but
sweaty
his
chest.
list of where to find like the homos. And then my note in my notes says, I find all the homos at the antique store.
Nice.
Because when I saw him write that down, I was like, that's true. We are
true.
all at the antique store on Sunday.
He's ignorant, but he's well researched.
You gotta hand it to him on that one. The gays love antiquing.
I
Okay.
loved Noxima's like little side relationship with the old lady who was really into movies. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's gonna be me as an old lady.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah,
thought it
and you're
was
also
That's
you're
cute.
gonna live in some strange
Fucking
rural town in
town.
the middle of nowhere.
And then these
Honestly, like
country
it could
queens are gonna
be
come in.
like a horror movie, you know, like it could be the setting for like a horror movie in the right like script, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
instead of Leatherface, it'd be Leather Daddy.
Good. Great. Alexis liked it.
She liked it.
Alexis liked it,
I
and
liked
that's
it.
enough
That's
for me.
all that's all I need. Okay, here's a joke that I liked though, was when Dullard, he throws some unwanted, very bold racial slurs out there, and then Chi-Chi goes, I think the cop might be prejudiced. And then Wesley Snipes goes, you must have been the brightest in your class, huh? I was like, that line made me laugh. Wesley Snipes, Noxima, she had I think some of the funniest lines in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when Chi-Chi was running, being all very emotional, wanting to go oh, looks like she's running across the border again. I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? That's pretty funny.
I can laugh loudly
meanest-
at that because I'm Mexican.
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah. My man.
Mick, you don't get to do any of what you do.
I'm just a part of the fun. I'm having fun with my friends.
At any time,
having
in
fun
general,
with my friends.
you're not allowed.
I bet your favorite part was when they listed Mel Gibson as one of the men that they save.
Oh, no. But that was tough.
Okay, wait, Noxima does have another really good line though. So, and also really glad that I watched Gone with the Wind prior to having seen this, or I would not have caught that line. But when they're going through like the nice like white suburban neighborhood that what is her name?
Vita Bohem or Bohem.
Yeah, Vita Bohem, like that her family is originally from, and fucking Noxima goes, "Woo! Looks like there's gonna be a barbecue at 12 Oaks tonight." And 12 Oaks is like the family home of Ashley Wilkes, one of the characters from Gone with the Wind. So like basically saying like that it's a plantation, and I was like, ah ha ha, yes.
That went right by me because I haven't seen Gone with the Wind.
You uncultured
Exactly.
swine.
And you're welcome for having picked that up.
Thank you, Alexis. This is why you're our minister of theory.
Even though that
Also,
I'll
Robin
give it
Williams
to you.
came out of nowhere. I did not expect to see
Yeah.
Robin Williams in
Yeah,
this movie.
and
All of a
was-
sudden, I was like, ah!
And was decidedly not funny for the 3 minutes he was there.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a
Not
lot
the
for
My
me.
Little Pinata. You did that. I thought that was funny.
A couple.
That's good. I'm glad you found that funny.
a couple-
You can find that funny.
It's allowed. Yeah, you're allowed to. Find that
I found that a
funny.
little like, oh, that's the 90s.
You want to talk the 90s? Talk about them calling Noxima an ebony enchantress.
No.
And I was like,
Okay. Furthermore, speaking of 90s, a scene that didn't work for me, I was like, okay, I am kind of enjoying this movie. Yes, it's of a certain time. Then it went to like women's basketball camp for some random scene, and
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes does like the most. I'm just like, this is.
There's some
can't
real
quite put
like
my finger
gay
on-
stereotype type shit.
I
like,
couldn't
Lynn
quite put my
Rice.
finger on it.
100%.
I was like, this just feels like not like offensive, but just like this is just not funny.
Yeah, it's the kind of
it's not
stuff
funny.
where the script, I believe, was written by a gay guy.
That's good.
But like, it's the kind of thing
And they love women.
where
Well,
I think that this would have been handled better by a gay director,
John
as
Waters.
opposed to some fucking white British
Sure.
lady.
yeah.
sure.
A couple other bits that did make me laugh because there were not too many, so I do want
extensive notes you
I
took
do
there.
want to give it some credit. John Leguizamo's reaction. Leguizamo was probably my favorite person in this movie, which is nice because
I fucking love
Super
him.
hot.
yeah, he looked good in drag.
I was like,
I
was-
love to be wined and dined, puppy.
I know. I was like, hello.
But his reaction to Swayze saying, "I am stripping you of all of your princess points," was like, that's not a funny line, but Leguizamo's reaction to that did make me laugh. So I have to give him a lot of credit for taking something which is absolutely not funny on paper and making something out of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Chris Penn really was bringing it for me because him also when he's talking to the other cops about how Patrick Swayze knocked him out.
Ugh.
They were not girls. They were boys. There were 3 of them and one of them was black. Like, it's so pathetic, and that really made me laugh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Just the cops being
I don't-
like, they were girls, and then trying not to laugh. It just was didn't work for me.
I don't know. His delivery of that.
He was funny.
He is
a bit.
He brought it. Little character actor note. Did you notice Loretta? Did you notice what else she has been in?
Who's Loretta?
She was the kind of the severe looking woman.
Severe looking.
dark
I don't know
brown
how
hair.
else to. She kind of big gray hair.
Oh, the one-
grayish.
Okay. Oh, you're just gonna say the one from Speed?
Yeah, that's correct.
She's always one of those. She's the female equivalent of like that guy. So she's that lady.
She's that lady. Yeah, I'll
you know that
never,
song? Who's that lady? That's who that song is about.
It's that actress.
It's that actress.
who tried to get off the bus at Speed and almost fucking ruined
She's
it
in
for everybody.
so many
True.
movies from the 90s.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she was working. She was booked
working.
and busy.
Working for a living. That you know the Huey Lewis song? They wrote that about her.
Oh, no way.
She's inspired a lot of Grammy Award winning music.
Alexis, I'm sorry. We've gone far afield from the film that you picked.
You know what? To be honest, I didn't find this movie like super laugh out funny. I think it missed the goddamn it. Stop pointing. Mick is pointing out a goddamn boat
Mick is
on the
pointing
TV.
at a photo
It's like
of
a
a boat on our
wallpaper that
TV
Google cycles through. Like earlier it was a fox,
Mick,
right now
shut
it's a
the
boat,
fuck up.
and
Alexis
like I can
is-
visibly
ugh.
see him popping a Woody.
Ugh.
And
There's a snake in my boot.
There's a line that says, "Ladies, it comes to that age-old argument, style or substance," and that line really spoke to me because I often find myself in the same conundrum, and I was like, these girls are just like me. And it had me giggling for a bit because instead of choosing the sensible Toyota Corolla, they go with this, like, what was it, a Buick or something?
Cadillac.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a Cadillac.
Cadillac.
It's a Cadillac, whatever. I don't know cars, clearly. And I just love that because it was like clearly, obviously, the car is going to break down at some point because they chose this over the reliable car. That clearly they've set that up. But I just love that moment of like, guys, should we do the practical thing or should we look great while we're doing it? And I was like, that's such a like bitches thing to do, like all the bitches do shit like that. So I was like, relatable. The hot pink bathing suit and big hat that Vita Boheme wears during one of the pool scenes, iconic. I said here, yas, those cat slippers are so it, but I cannot, in fact, recall what the cat slippers looked like, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
Didn't stay with me.
Was I too high at that by that point? I don't know. I also wrote down oppressive gringa with a pinga.
I also wrote that down.
That was a fun line for sure. But yeah, I also wrote down that I love to be wined and dined, Poppy. I just love Chi Chi. She was just too much. But I was like, you know what? Good for you for giving up that white boy to the white girl that, lives in town. You don't need to be locked down by some random white boy in the middle of nowhere. That's not going to do anything for anyone.
He could not have handled what she had.
No way.
No.
Doesn't matter how much he stretches.
Although I will say I did find it kind of lame that like this is a movie that's centers 3 gay characters and there's like no intimacy.
There's no gay romance.
Like it
No.
really presents these gay guys as like, I mean, other than
Non-sexual beings.
It's like they're magical gay people, gay savior. They just come in, they fix this town, then they go off.
and like
they like have this like moment where they're like all twirling around the room decorating it because that's what gay people do, and they're not wrong, but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're right. But how
it's true.
dare
I
they?
have seen that happen, but
In a time lapse, really? We're just gonna wind right through it?
but I mean, like for a Hollywood studio comedy from the '90s, pretty progressive. I'm giving it the Faint Praise Award. Because this is the same decade that spawned Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, one of the most transphobic fucking studio comedies ever made.
True.
And, homophobia and transphobia were fucking big in 90s comedies.
They were punchlines,
and maybe even bigger in 2000s comedies. So, this is kind of a breath of fresh air in that way.
There's a joke in here. I think it was a joke. I weirdly laughed out loud at it, but when the abusive mechanic husband, Virgil, went in after, I think it was Noxema, like put spices in the soup, and then he had like some of it to eat, and he was like, "Did you put spices in this?" I don't know, it made me laugh. like that shit's so funny. It's like I think that's making fun of like country bumpkin white people, where it's like
can't handle any spice.
You can't even put like paprika in it without him being like, "You're doing it to make me mad."
Yeah,
aren't
he's
you?"
gonna fly into an abusive rage.
I just thought that was funny.
Wait,
Did you put spices in this?
Okay, Lisa on Letterboxd said RuPaul coming down from the ceiling as a queen named Rachel Tensions in a Confederate flag dress saved my GPA and filled my bank account. I feel that.
That is an insane moment. That did probably get my most like audible reaction.
That's
of
the funniest line in the whole, or the funniest joke in the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
and it does happen in the first like couple minutes.
Okay,
but
wait.
yes. Oh, sorry.
Fucking Chi-Chi though, when they're like kicking around like the fucking what's the fucking officer's name again?
Officer Dullard.
Dullard.
It's a misprint.
Mommies, don't quote me, but I think this one is deceased. I don't know. Like, what is going on there? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
who decided that she was the one that is supposed to check? That my immediate response as soon as like Chi-Chi goes over there to like check his pulse point is, who decided she's the person in charge of that? You guys both know that she's an idiot. Why would you let her check if this man is dead?
Yeah.
That's a totally solid point.
Here's the thing.
That was the most unbelievable thing of this movie.
I personally struggle with cutesy, like, you know, wink at you humor, like feel good jokes. Like, you know, I can see why they're popular. I can see why people like them. It's because they make you feel good, and that's fun. I like that everyone's happy. That makes me laugh.
No, I tend to like either very bizarre or very mean comedy.
Yeah, and I think that's partly why I struggle with this, because this is like, you know, and I read a lot of the reviews. A lot of people give it like 4, 4.5, and 5, and for good reason. You know, it's for their own reasons. It makes you feel good, and that's great. And I don't want to, you know, rain on anyone's parade or anything like that, but just personally, as a comedy, the humor in this wasn't really there, you know?
I definitely enjoy feel-good humor more than you guys. I think, like, I probably grew up on a lot of that type of humor. Like, I never had seen things like Blazing Saddles growing up, or Airplane, or anything that I would consider like kind of absurdist comedy. Like, I never grew up with that. And I think that's probably why I have a harder time, I don't know, enjoying it now.
Right.
I can see that.
Yeah. But I think that's why this is you know, each of our picks says a lot about what we find funny. And I think that this is a really good pick for you, Alexis, because of that very reason. You know, it's
I can enjoy the gay stereotypes.
It's wholesome.
It's wholesome and gay.
It's wholesome and gay.
Yeah.
That's
exactly
Alexis in a
I
nutshell.
picked
It was so funny. I was texting my girlfriend. I was like, "Yeah, so this movie," and I pretty much was like, "Yeah, it's very wholesome. It's very gay." And she was like, "Well, whose pick was it?" I was like, "Alexis." She was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This all tracks.
It all tracks.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It is a very interesting choice, you know, to have Patrick Swayze as the lead, you know, or even Wesley Snipes, because, you know, I mean, for like most of their career up until this point, like especially Patrick Swayze, like he's definitely like considered like, I don't know, like a heartthrob of the 80s. So it must have been very interesting, like contextually at the time, for people to see him like it fully in drag, you know. I mean, considering that it was like what, 20, almost 30, like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I think this is a really great pick for Queer Month. It's because like when you first, you know,
You
when
can't
this movie
put us
came
in a
out,
box, Mick. We won't stay in Queer Month.
this movie came out fully, and I appreciate it for that. But this movie contextually came out when Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze were kind of like at the peak of their career, very much known for being like iconic images of masculinity, you know, they're action stars, et cetera, et cetera. And what this movie does is it puts it on, it puts that on its head. It's let's take some of the most masculine manliest men we have right now that are super popular, and let's put them in drag. Like in the first scene, you see Patrick Swayze very much like how you would in Roadhouse, very much how you would in Point Break, where you see him, you know, his big muscly arm picking up a towel, getting out. You see him shredded, getting out of the towel. He puts on his towel. He goes, and then he starts glamming himself up, becoming a woman, right?
Yeah.
And that's great. Like that's it's powerful imagery and the whole thing. Yeah, it's great. You know.
Yeah.
I love that they shout out Mel Gibson in this movie as like
I don't love
Me
that.
too.
I didn't
Me
love that.
too.
That's one of these fucking reviews by somebody named Spencer says this 25-year-old movie aged pretty well except for the scene where a group of characters list good men and the names they say are Mr. Rogers, Keanu Reeves, Denzel Washington, and Mel Gibson.
Yeah, which, by the way, listeners, if you haven't seen this movie, what they're doing in the scene is they're listing men who
That can
are
stay.
that can stay around because in the movie there is a man who is physically abusive.
Yeah, played by Arliss Howard of Full Metal Jacket and The Killer fame.
That's correct. And he has just abused his wife for I don't know how many times, too many. More than once is too many times. And it's funny
I'd
because
say once is too many times.
more than once. Once is too many times.
Yeah, sounded like you just said more than once is too many
I know.
times.
I knew you would pick up on that.
It seemed like
Try
you
it,
were like,
try
you
it.
get a freebie.
Yeah, but it's funny because the
I'd
person.
argue you don't get a freebie in beating your wife, listeners. I just want to say that.
Well, one of the people that they list as who you
Thank you.
save is Mel Gibson. Who was he ever physically abusive to his wife? Or he was emotionally abusive.
I know
and just
he
racist.
Verbally,
was
for sure.
incredibly verbally abusive, and
So, it's ironic.
I'm not going to say he wasn't physically abusive.
Right.
I just don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say that.
Right. It's just ironic that the person that gets to stick around is like
Mel Gibson.
pretty on the record about.
Listen, it's 1995. He's what women want.
Are you Jewish?
Wow, good job, Zach. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was
You know,
great.
I watched that
He
movie
said it,
like
he
at
said it.
least like 3 or 4 times as a kid. I don't
I've
know
never
why.
seen it. I've never seen it.
It's what women want.
He is what women want.
He is what women want.
Maybe I needed
kinda-
to know what women want.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, it was a different time.
It was simpler times. You could say it was the best of times, but in a much more real sense, you could say it was the worst of times.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if the worst of times.
It wasn't good times.
It was better than the Middle Ages.
Okay. I like how Wesley Snipes sounds kind of like Miss Piggy when
I
he
noticed that too.
has his like little freak out about the vintage clothing. There's a quality
he
to
slipped
his
into
voice.
Miss Piggy. I picked up on that
That's
too.
exactly how I
70s.
would react to. I really enjoyed that scene because I was like, yes, this is believable. I'm like, same girl, same.
Noxima, that looks beautiful on you, honey.
It does, doesn't it? Good. Good. Great.
Leave no stone unturned.
Alexis, do you have any other thoughts on this film? I feel like we haven't been talking about the movie itself for that long, and I don't want to give you short shrift.
Well, whatchamacallit, Viva Boheme is like that great aunt that like you don't hear from very often, but she's the type of person that plans things like strawberry socials, and you wonder to yourself, why do people in this century still have strawberry socials? But like you kind of love her because who else would throw something like a strawberry social?
What is a strawberry social?
It's the thing that they throw at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, like their little party or whatever. I don't know.
It's a
They make
strawberry
fucking
social.
strawberry cake or pie or something like that. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't remember much about the movie other than the fun stuff.
That's because you were high.
Well, that's a good
But-
way to only remember the fun stuff.
That's true.
Exactly.
I forgot all the other
you
stuff.
know?
Yeah, I watched this pretty sober, and I remembered not the fun stuff.
I remember it all.
I remember everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They go on a road trip. Yeah, I think the kind of camaraderie between Vila Bohem and Wesley Snipes at the beginning is kind of fun, where Vila is like, oh yes, we're gonna help this little Latin boy, and Noxema's like, first of all, I never fucking agreed to help this little Latin boy. I never agreed to that. I don't know. It was fun. It was fun enough for me. I'm sure if I had watched this when I was a kid, I would have liked it a lot more. But Bobby Ray, adorable, so sweet. I don't love that Chi-Chi had to give him up for Bobby Lee, but I'm like, solidarity, whatever. I don't know. Do you guys think anything else?
Yeah. Did you notice that there is a Mrs. Paltrow in this movie?
I did notice that.
Gwyneth Paltrow's
Paltrow.
mom.
Yeah.
I love her. She's great. She was in MASH.
Yeah, I thought she was good in this movie.
She was good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, last note, because I feel like Wesley Snipes and John Leguizamo had more opportunities to make me laugh in this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh that much at their antics, but I did upon occasion. The one Patrick Swayze line delivery that elicited a chuckle from me, so I do want to note it, is I believe it's when they get pulled over. Patrick Swayze goes, "Oh, what in gay hell?" And there's just something about the way he delivered it. I had a little laugh.
It tickled you.
I had a sensible chuckle.
A sensible chuckle.
I take issue with the dancing at the beginning of the movie because I was like, first of all, this is how I know that no one gay directed this movie, because what was that? I'm like, that voguing was horrendous. I'm like, after watching, Paris is Burning or Pose or basically any movie with real gay people in it, you're just like, what the fuck is that? I just can't believe that there weren't any actual drag queens that weren't willing to be on camera to fucking perform and I don't know, do something. But I guess everybody else has to be bad to make Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze's characters look okay, because I mean they look good, but their dancing's terrible.
Swayze should be able to pull that off. Swayze's a dancer.
Yeah.
I know, nobody taught him voguing. I'm like, wasn't Madonna's fucking music video out by now? Shouldn't the white masses know what voguing is by this point?
Isn't that a magazine?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, he should have been able to pick that up. Also, I got a little bit of information from someone that I know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm not going to say who it was, but someone I know, Patrick Swayze fucked their mom. So, that's a fun little bit of trivia that I learned recently.
What?
That I have a friend whose mom had sex with Patrick Swayze.
Oh, I thought you meant that Patrick Swayze fucked his mom. Like his own mother.
No. Patrick Swayze fucked
I thought you were calling
No.
Patrick Swayze a motherfucker.
No,
and I was like, you want to fight?
I'm saying Patrick Swayze fucked my friend's mom.
Oh, that's cool.
So I learned that recently,
Nice.
Tight.
and that's fun.
That's tight
What
as
were you
fuck.
gonna say, Mick?
Did you tell his father that he's tunnel brothers with Patrick Swayze?
I did not communicate this to my friend's father.
Right.
Mick, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say Patrick Swayze.
I'm so sorry.
I was a little disappointed by him in this movie. He didn't have the juice. I don't know if his character had the juice either.
Yeah, I don't think he was given a lot to do.
Wasn't a lot to do, but I don't know. It was weird.
I think it was just he
was
not only was he
uncharacteristic
kind
of
of
him.
giving some gay stereotypes, but he was also giving some very matronly woman stereotypes.
Yeah,
which and honestly, his character was giving kind of 12 Oaks, this is what's the right way to be a lady kind of thing. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it is of its time, of course. So, whatever.
Yeah. I know, but what's interesting, though, is the Birdcage that we covered last year in Comedy Month is a drag queer film directed by, pretty sure Mike Nichols isn't gay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So it's like, I don't know, this British lady kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah, well, she's British, so.
Well, she's a lady.
Yeah, but then, I mean, you also have, what's his name? Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Who is actually gay, that plays Albert. Why can't I? Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane, yeah.
I mean, Nathan Lane is actually gay, and Nathan Lane is but I mean, Robin Williams, like, I mean, just the script is so tight in The Birdcage that, I mean, there is so much to work with already just from there. And then you put in two incredibly well-rounded actors and add that one is actually a gay man and one has, like, you know, is quite good at, like, playing to a gay-ish stereotype.
Well, the thing, I think what you're picking up on is, like, you have two very big, well, actually, no, Nathan Lane wasn't a big name, but you have two very strong comedians who are in that film.
Yeah.
You don't get that in To Wong Foo. You get
I think that John Leguizamo's probably
he's the closest you
of the
get.
comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the closest you get. You're getting two famous big names in there, which, again, for them to do at this point in their career was a very peculiar career move, and I applaud them for it. I think that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this movie worked for me entirely, but it makes people happy, and that makes me happy.
Well, I think ultimately...
Unlike Mamma Mia, which makes people happy, and that pisses me right off.
It makes you sad.
I don't like that one bit. Stop that. Stop it right now.
The guy who wrote this actually didn't write any other, like really any other movies. So...
Well, he said what he needed to say, apparently. I guess what we're saying is that if you want to watch a queer comedy from the 90s that features drag, go ahead and pop The Birdcage on.
Yeah.
But you can also watch...
here
who
at
has
the
Gene Hackman
Filmmakers
in it.
endorse The Birdcage.
Yeah,
Yes.
but if you want to watch To Wong Foo as a warm-up, you could, I guess, do that too.
Yeah.
Those are my final thoughts.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy Wesley Snipes' like little like jogging around chasing the old woman down, and then when he finally sat down, he was like, "Whew, you really took me on a journey," and it was like literally just like across the road. I just thought that was really funny for some reason.
Yeah.
Alexis was charmed. Nick,
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
cool.
Shut the fuck up.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it's
Pigeonholing us.
I'm just saying. I could be happy for Pride.
We did a drag based comedy last comedy month as well.
That's
Actually,
right.
we did two.
What was the other one?
One of them was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh,
which
that
is,
was a little.
I am not gonna fucking put. I'm not gonna mention as a film in the queer canon.
No,
yeah,
it's
it is-
decidedly misogynistic.
Yeah, that's another fucking 90s movie that's pretty.
dearie.
Euphegenia's back.
talking about
Yeah, but it's Robin Williams, so
Get out of here,
least.
Euphegenia.
And I'd have to say,
Get out of here.
I'm a big fan of the gays. I may not be one of them, but
Someone take a cake
do
to that
party
woman's
with them.
face. A pie, lemon meringue,
I'm
preferably.
Oh, it was a drive-by fruiting.
Get out of here, Euphegenia. Get out of here. I'm beating her with a shoe. Anyways.
Ooh, a little lower,
Great.
dear. Oh, I like that.
You know what? Let's rein it in and let's bring it home. Zach, take it away.
All right. Well, I've pretty much listed my final thoughts on this movie. It's fine.
Exactly.
I didn't
Take us
really
away.
like it that much. I think we discussed a couple of different options for next week's film.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I have a strong-ish opinion.
A strong-ish opinion.
One might call it a strong one.
I have a strong opinion as well. Alexis, do you have a strong opinion?
I have many strong opinions. I don't know if it's this one.
All right.
Okay.
Well, my vote for next week, I think that we should talk about Clue next week.
Oh, okay. Well, don't leave us hanging. What's the clue? What is it?
The film Clue. The Jonathan Lynn film. Jonathan Lynn, right?
You can just tell us the name. You don't have to give us a clue. What's the name of the movie?
I'm going to hit you soon.
Oh, dear, it's okay. You can tell us the name of the movie. Oh,
Get out of here, you Virginia!
don't make me get the hose.
Anyways,
Get back in your cage.
I think, that we should talk about Jonathan Lynn's Clue. What do you guys think?
I have a very strong opinion that I'm cool with that.
Alexis?
I'm
like
also
them.
cool with that.
Yeah, I just...
Because
I think,
Tim Curry.
yeah.
I love that man.
We've also... this is a film we've invoked a lot on the podcast.
We've
so-
watched
Isn't
it a
Madeline
lot.
Kahn also in this?
Yes.
She is of Blazing Saddles fame.
Yes. I'm so excited, guys.
As well as Michael McKean and Christopher Lloyd.
That's right.
You know what? I take it back. I do have a strong opinion, and that is that I think I'm going to have fun rewatching this movie.
Hell yeah. Well, if you, our audience, want to watch Clue before next week, you can find it for free on Pluto TV, or you can rent it wherever you rent your films, or you can find it on our shelf.
Goddamn right.
And if you want to find us, the Film Majors, on social media, you can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads at FilmMajorsPod. And you can send us an email at filmmajorspod@gmail.com. Tell us who your favorite idiot villain is. Why not?
Yeah, for we will read it. And remember, like us, follow us, give us a rating on Spotify.
Thank you.
It helps us out.
You can give us a rating on Apple Music, too.
No.
Wherever you listen to it.
Don't do that.
Rape
do
this
it.
ass.
All right, well, I had fun.
Bye.
Bye.